Okay, think we are live. Let's make sure right quick.
Yeah, it's live.
All right, we are live. We are live. What is the deal, ladies and gentlemen? What is going on? This is your boy Regaming 27, and as I'm back. I'm back again with another podcast. I'm back with a, I guess you could say, an emergency podcast. Now, I'm not gonna say it's an emergency podcast. It's only a couple of us. It ain't like it's a full team, but we got a few things that we want to talk about today. We got I don't know, me and Alex, we just want to pinpoint the stupidity that these so-called journalists has for us, and it's just based on all the information that they gave us was complete false, and they basically trying to make it seem like everything they talked about was actually true, and we basically don't even have the event yet. The presentation is set for Thursday, and it making it seem like all the stuff that they was given to us was a fact, and they talking about. I forgot that dude's name. Maybe it was Brian, whatever. Talking about trust me. Trust for what? You don't have the dev kits. You are not the developers. Like, you're just a journalist. Like, you're not a developer. So that's why I'm saying that we're gonna break down this video and we're gonna give you our intake on how we feel about it. If you have any questions, any concerns, you can feel free and join us in that chat. Conversate with us. And before I put the video on for y'all to watch it, let's go ahead and introduce ourselves. Let's go and start with you, Alex.
Okay, what's going on, everyone? Actives in here, and we're back. I don't know what to call this one. It's two guys talking about a bunch of guys from IGN show. This should be a fun show.
All right, cool. I guess it's not the. I don't know. I won't say it's a real talk podcast. It's just us two. And I can't say the real talk because I used to just be me. So what can I call this show? Just we need to come up with a name if it's just us two. Gamer and Alex, or Real Gamer and Alex, or we just go by. I don't know. Maybe Aaron and Alex. That's my real name, Aaron. Aaron and Alex. But then again, a lot of people don't even know who my real name is. Yeah, I might just do that for now. But yeah, all the people that just joined in with us. Really appreciate y'all supporting everything. And let's go ahead, before I even get to the video, let's see who's in the chat right now. Let's see who's here. Let's see. EJ, Jumpman, Ahad, Lazy Geek Gamer, Dr. Doom. Who else is here? KAG, Dave J. Appreciate y'all for joining us. And basically, like I said, I want to show y'all guys this video. I think it's like a 4 or 5 minute video. And basically, after y'all hear this, I'm pretty sure y'all might have heard it from another channel, but I want y'all to give us y'all intake on how y'all feel about these so-called journalists. See, I'm trying to see, do they even know what the hell they talking about? Because I feel that the shit that they were spewing on their podcast was basically PlayStation, I guess, PlayStation fandism.
PlayStation placating. It was just appeasing a PlayStation audience that they have, and to be honest, they had no business talking about this if they weren't gonna be truthful about what they're saying.
Yeah, they wasn't truthful. That's basically what I'm saying. Like, if you're gonna give the truth, tell the whole truth. Okay. Before we get into our thoughts, let's go ahead and play this video. All right, let's go.
Anywhere you go, but most. Lee Chance's Team Beyond views on Nintendo Switch. I think that the story that we had on IGN in the last few days about how Mass Effect Andromeda is not coming to Switch, I think this
I don't care about it anymore.
Well, no. I will say that we are now firmly in the same place where you can look at like the image for the Sonic the Hedgehog cycle, and you can put Nintendo consoles in there, because I think we all have done that thing now where we've been like, this is the one, this is going to be the system that revolutionizes everything, this is going to be the one that gets all the third-party support in the world, and then the specs come in, and then like the battery life come in, and like all the other stuff starts coming in, and you start realizing that to have a system like this that can't maximize the hardware capabilities that it's siblings can in the console wars, it means that you have a lot of companies and developers sacrificing their vision to port a game to this platform and thus won't. Plus, you couple that with the fact that Nintendo fans historically do not buy third-party games and never will, no matter how much they say or pretend they will.
Okay.
And this will largely be another system that plays a couple of awesome Mario games, a couple awesome Zelda games, a couple awesome, Animal Crossing, or what have you. Nintendo first-party games. And you'll get some cool, quirky, weird third-party stuff. And they'll be able to drag and drop a bunch of stuff from last gen and make it portable for the first time ever, which would be really cool to play sort of like, Watch Dogs or Skyrim or something like that anywhere you go. But mostly, it's another Nintendo console, like it or not, and I think in 3 or 4 years they'll be scratching their heads trying to figure out what's next.
Bullshit.
I'm a little worried about this one. I think Nintendo needs a big win after the Wii U.
They do.
In the console in the console market. Yes, they've broken into mobile, but that didn't do well with their investors. And I'm really, really hoping that the Switch does well. But there's so many ways it could fail. The battery life could be too little. The peripherals could be janky and not work that well. And that's what worries me about this platform. And then we're seeing like when it runs on the screen, it runs at a lower FPS than it does when it's docked. I mean, like, all that stuff is super concerning this early, and I know there's a big event coming up on the 12th, and we're going to know more.
Yeah, we're going to know more in about a week and a half.
Yeah. But I'm worried. I want it to be an awesome console, and I want that third-party support and everything, but I just don't know, man.
I'm looking at this thing like it's going to be the best handheld Nintendo's ever made, and I'm not looking at this thing like it's just another lackluster console, because I think as a console, it's not going to be great when put next to the PS4 or the Xbox One. It's got no VR capabilities. It's 1080p. I mean, people have even said, like, it can do VR. No, you don't want a 720p screen on your face for VR. Trust me, you just don't. It just doesn't work. But Nintendo always does this thing, and I've noticed this as a lifelong Nintendo fan, is like they have an announcement or there's a rumor or there's something like that, and then all of a sudden you start to see all the holes in it. It sounds like the greatest thing in the world. They're like, hey, Super Mario Run, it's going to be this, this, and this. Oh, it's $9.99. Oh, it's always online. Oh, it's only 24 levels. Hey, there's a new blah, blah, blah. Oh, there's this hole. Like, the NES Classic. You're like, oh, this thing looks awesome. Oh, you can't pre-order it. Oh, you have to get up to reset it.
Yeah.
Oh,
the cord is
the
2 feet
cords
long.
are 3 feet long. So it's basically just like, it's like 1 step forward, 10 steps back every single time.
Yeah.
So cautious optimism on this one. How do you feel about it, Max?
I want it to be great. I want it to be awesome. I really wish this could be the thing where, Nintendo goes, oh, okay, we'll just toe the line now, and we'll get people back on board with, just get some third party stuff on there. Like, I mean, it's weird to think that games I love on like Sony platforms started out on Nintendo.
What y'all think about this, guys? Y'all think it's bullshit?
Super Nintendo, which the N64 wasn't, and it's just, I want them to do something that like completely makes me go, oh yeah, gimme, I want that now. But I
Bring back Mega Man.
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna have to do a lot to make me even like remotely consider pre-ordering.
I mean, like, let's look at some of the biggest third-party games of 2017. Right off the bat, you have Red Dead not coming, Mass Effect Andromeda not coming. I mean, I'm sure that
not yet. I mean, they're still open to the idea.
Yeah,
but I mean,
again,
that's not a good sign if they're not in talks already.
I know that. That's like when you break up with someone and they're like, "Well, no, we might get back together." No, you're not. You're never
not?
getting back with her. No,
Yeah.
you're not. That's why you have that Silence commercial.
All right. Okay. Let's go and switch back to our hangout. All right, now let's see. Let's go to full screen. All right, Alex, what do you think about this, man?
I think a lot of the stuff that they said is kind of off base. Like they're talking about stuff that didn't even happen. Like the guy on the left with the blue shirt is talking about how when you play the Switch in handheld mode, you lose FPS.
It don't even make sense.
We know factually that's not true because we saw them play Zelda Breath of the Wild live on Jimmy Fallon in the dock mode. It was running fine. He took it off the dock. He was playing. Still looked the same. So that was, I don't know where he's getting this information from. I've never seen any rumors stating that you're going to lose frames when you go down to the tablet mode. So I don't know what he's talking about there. Brian, the leather jacket guy, he was saying how it's not getting Mass Effect Andromeda, and it's going to be another Wii U cycle. It's not going to get in 30-party games. You're only going to get a couple Zelda games, a couple Mario games, and then that's about it. They also mentioned that Nintendo needs a win in the home console division, which is true. That's absolutely true. After the Wii U, they need a win. And then they talk about how they went into mobile and that didn't do well. And they completely, for whatever reason, We know the reason they're trying to set a narrative. They're omitting the 3DS. The 3DS doesn't exist in their universe, and they're also saying how Nintendo guys don't buy third-party games at all. They only buy Nintendo games, which again, factually, is not true. 3DS has a lot of games that are third-party games that sell well. Wii U, not too many, but like stuff like Hyrule Warriors, that's a third-party game. It's a third-party exclusive, but that's a third-party game that sold well. Bayonetta 2 sold well. There are examples of third-party games that sell well, but they're trying to play it like no games will sell well, and I don't understand that. He is part of the Nintendo voice chat, so for him to say something like that is kind of crazy to me.
Well,
all of them,
yeah.
Only one of them even mentions first-party games, and that's Brian. The other three, all they're talking about is third-party games.
That's why I don't understand. Like, you are a PlayStation podcast. You talking about third parties on a Nintendo console, and you want basically the maximized potential of your hardware. Pretty much, you're going to buy all the multiplats on the PlayStation, so why even cry about the third party or the multiplats on the Nintendo console? That does not make sense at all. Multiplats on the Nintendo console is for strictly Nintendo fans. Like, you might. Yeah, go ahead.
The only people who would be concerned about getting third-party games on the Nintendo Switch, like third-party multiplats, are people that don't have a PC, an Xbox, or a PS4,
or much money.
Or whatever. Like, let's say they can only afford one console, that you would want the Switch to have third-party multiplats, obviously. But like, we're talking about guys who are on a PlayStation podcast who have PlayStation 4s. They probably have Xbox Ones. They might even have PlayStation 4 Pros and a PC. That's several ways to play third-party games.
Yeah.
Multi-plat games, and yet they still want that is their primary desire for the Switch. It doesn't make any sense.
It don't.
You're not gonna leave your ecosystem.
Yeah.
You're not going to leave all your friends on your friends list. You're not going to leave all your achievements and stuff to be like, oh, hey, Nintendo got third-party multiplats this time. I'm going to go over there and uproot everything.
Thank you. I've been saying the same thing. Like, I got like a 25,000 achievement score on my PlayStation, Xbox, and I got like 400 trophies on my PlayStation. Not much, but why do I want to start over on my ecosystem, by going towards the Nintendo Switch, knowing that all my friends are basically on the Xbox side. I got a few on the PlayStation, and I got to start over on the Nintendo.
That's a smaller thing, but I'm talking about you're gonna abandon your entire friends list, all the people you play games with, and start over just because Nintendo got a multiplayer.
Yeah, like Nintendo.
Nobody's gonna do that.
Nintendo, they burned that bridge a long time ago. They should have basically during the 7th generation, they should have came up with some kind of achievement system to make their all the multiplats more appealing to purchase on the Nintendo console, but they failed to do that with the Wii, and they most definitely did it with the Wii U. So whatever happens with the Switch, even though if they do some kind of achievement, it's like they got to build their audience over from scratch again.
Build that from the ground up.
So basically, in order for Nintendo to succeed with the Switch, they need to basically get a lot of first-party games, but at the same time, when we talk about third parties, it doesn't necessarily have to be multiplats. It has to be exclusives. That's what made the 64, even though a lot of people say it was a failure of a system, but it still did, good, like 30-something million sold. It had a lot of third-party exclusives that basically made that system a memorable system. Like, there's ways around without the multiplats. Yes, multiplats is really important, but if you can't compete with those other two competitors because the PS4 and the Xbox One share like 70% of the gaming library, you need to go somewhere else and separate yourself and make your console more appealing and make it more, more for other people to come and purchase your system, since they got games that you can't play on the other system. That's basically where I'm coming from.
Right, like don't get it twisted. I'm not saying the Nintendo Switch shouldn't get third-party games.
Yeah,
it should. Obviously, most gamers
I agree.
enjoy third-party games.
Yeah.
Having multiplats be the focus of the Switch
doesn't
make sense, because the Sony PS4 already has an established fan base. Xbox already has an established fan base. PC has an established fan base. The people that play there are gonna keep buying the multiplats there. They're not gonna uproot the way they game and go over to Nintendo to play those games.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Like,
it's gonna happen, but it's not gonna happen.
Don't get me wrong. I know they are concerned with Nintendo. We all are concerned with Nintendo. Like, whenever we saw the Switch, we saw something special with this. We saw that this can be a blockbuster of a hit, and I really think it's going to be a hit. But people got to realize the fact that Nintendo has been in this console market for over 30 plus years, and they've been doing handheld for like 25 years or something like that. And their handhelds has always been strong every generation. Look at the 3DS. It had a slow start, and look at it now, 60 plus million. It'll probably be at 70 million by the time this year is up. Like, people keep on taking the 3DS out for some reason. I don't know why. They keep on talking about Nintendo fans don't support third parties, but a lot of their third party games is on the 3DS. But they keep on basically acting like the 3DS don't exist. They keep acting like Nintendo do not do handhelds. Like, I just don't understand. There is a reason why Nintendo
they completely omit the 3DS in this thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's a reason why Nintendo had merged their consoles with their handheld with their home console. There's a reason why, because they know where the money is at. You know, they trying to get these 3DS players to go and buy a more of an appealing handheld system that has HD graphics. You play your Pokemon in HD, and there's a rumor that Pokemon Stars will be coming out. So, let's say you got a 3DS version of Pokemon Sun and Moon, and you get to choose between that and Pokemon Stars, in which the handheld could be like in 720p in HD. It'd be a lot more appealing than the 3DS version, because I think the 3DS only spits out 240p or something like that. Like, I don't know, but the rest
240p
and 240p, so the resolution is between that's like compared night and day. So there is a reason why Nintendo is going this route, and I just don't understand why IGN, especially Brian, since he's a part of Nintendo podcast, he should know what basically.
That was one of the things that annoyed me. Like, Brian is part of the Nintendo voice chat team, which is the Nintendo podcast for IGN. So he knows all these things. He knows that Nintendo has merged their handheld and home console divisions together. He knows they're going to be doubling the output for first-party Nintendo titles. They don't mention that here. I find that very strange. Like, anything positive towards the Switch, they wouldn't mention it. It was just like, we're going to shit on this, we're going to shit on that, we're going to shit on this. Oh, this could happen, that can happen. Oh, but we want it to be successful, guys.
I've been all over Twitter, and I've been saying that I guess Pokemon and Fire Emblem and Monster Hunter must be irrelevant since they never mentioned that. And, you know, it's been confirmation that 3DS developers is going to the Switch and making games for it. And, of course, we got the Pokemon Stars about to come out. Come on, man. Like, just put one Pokemon game on any console. It's going to sell like hotcakes, man. It doesn't matter. Just look at the sales with the 3DS, man. Just, you know, the Switch is the talk of the town. It's the talk of the world. It's the talk of the gaming world. Everybody want to Switch. Whenever the launch day comes out, I believe it's going to be really hard to find a Switch. So I basically advise everybody to pre-order after the presentation. But there's a massive hype going on with the Switch right now. Of course, you got some of these YouTubers that want to do their little clickety bakes and shit and try to get as many views as they possibly can, spreading these false lies and false educations, I guess with the Switch and everything. And a lot of this shit is not even true because Nintendo hadn't even confirmed nothing. We still don't know about this Switch. Only thing we know, we saw how it looks. We saw some of the gameplay. We saw what it can do. But as far as the features was, as far as all the software, all the games, the third-party games, we still don't know because it is still a rumor.
Yeah, we'll find that out on this Thursday. As far as the specs go, we're probably not going to hear about that on Thursday. Nintendo doesn't traditionally tell you about the specs in their console. These guys in the podcast, they said that this thing is going to be weaker than the Xbox One and that it won't be able to run games that the Xbox One and the PS4 can run. Just because Mass Effect hasn't been announced, they neglect, of course, to tell you that Dark Souls 3 is running on the Switch. id Software said as much, and they were happy with the performance of it. That's a next generation game. These guys made no mention of it.
Yep.
That's the kind of stuff that irritates me because these guys, they're not generic YouTubers. Okay, they are journalists. They're gaming.
They make
sense. They have 7 million subscribers. They're a video game website. They're supposed to be unbiased.
They're not. It's been plenty of times. Was it IGN or GameSpot gave one of those Pokemon games a low score because of too much water? Which one was that?
IGN, yeah, that was IGN. It was like 7.8 out of 10, too much water.
Oh my God. And these are the same folks that praised the Vita and said it was going to be a massive success. And look how that turned out. So you can't really go by what they say. If you're going to go by what somebody say, go by what whoever has the dev kits. Only the people that has the dev kits know more about this system than we do. So that's why I say just wait and be patient until Thursday. That is my issue. And
like the NVIDIA CEO, he has already made it very clear that it's going to be easy to port games to the Switch. I'm going to believe him over some random guys. You know what I mean? Like, he obviously knows what this console can do because his company is making it. Nintendo's not making the Switch, just graphics cards and all that shit in the processor, whatever. NVIDIA's making it. If they're telling you that it's easy to port games from PC, Xbox, and PS4 over to the Switch, then it is. But these guys don't want to mention that for some reason.
I go with whoever is developing these games, developing these consoles, whoever has full access to what we need to know. That's who I'm going to trust. That's who I'm going to believe. I'm not going to trust Brian talking about believe me, trust. I don't trust you, dude. You're just a journalist. You don't know anything about this shit. You're just going by he say, she say, all these rumors that we get on an everyday basis and everything. But they keep on leaving out that when you dock the damn tablet, like you don't have to worry about the battery. I know there's room that the batteries could be between maybe 3 or 4 hours, but if you are a console gamer, then why should a battery life? Why should they even concern you? That's basically where I'm coming from. That's why. So I don't know. Like, there's a lot of stuff that they didn't even mention in this podcast. Okay, yes, there's a reason why they call this the Nintendo Switch, because you can switch from the console to the handheld. But me and you, Alex, we are console gamers. So why should the handheld part even affects us? And why did not mention that? It's all about the battery life.
That was another thing they brought up twice, was the supposed battery life being 3 hours, which is low. Absolutely, don't get it twisted. I think 3 hours for a handheld device is low.
It is.
But they do not mention to you, for whatever reason, they don't want to tell you the other half of it, that the Nintendo Switch uses USB Type-C, which supports quick charging, so you'll be able to charge your Nintendo Switch very quickly. Like cell phones, like my cell phone uses USB Type-C. It can get about 80% battery life within about 30 minutes. That's pretty damn good. So if the Switch is anything like that, then the 3 hour battery life's not a huge issue. But they don't tell you that part. Even, of course, they know this. They do know this. It's like, how could they not know this? But they don't want to tell you that.
They tell us what they want to tell us because, first of all, the name of the podcast is PlayStation. So their job is to make the PlayStation fan base feel more better about themselves just by, so they can trash on other consoles. That's what's going on. They focusing more on the negative than the positive. Like, I've been saying this for a long time. There's a lot more positives on the Switch than negatives. If you want to compare that with the Wii U, like, it's like comparing night and day. I see a lot more promising, a lot more potential with the Switch than I did with the Wii U. But it's like they concentrating on all the negatives but not saying anything about the positives. So you think that's just for clickbait?
The Switch is the idea of the Wii U. Like, the Wii U was a half-assed idea, and the Switch is what it should have been at the beginning, like merging their mobile division and console division together into one device. That makes sense for Nintendo.
Yeah,
and I think they got it right this time. We'll see on the Thursday what games are coming out at launch and the price point and release date and all that stuff. But like, these guys, I don't know, man, they were so off base with this. It seems so unnecessary. They didn't say anything positive other than, I hope it's successful.
There's a reason why a lot of people making these videos on it. It's not that we are Nintendo fans and we hate when people speak negatively on Nintendo. Hell, we bash Nintendo for a while.
Have you not been on our channel for the last year?
Yeah, we've been bashing. We've been saying it's been a Sahara desert. It's been dry. I've been bashing the Nintendo fan base. I've been bashing Nintendo. I've been doing everything to get the word out.
We have no problem taking the task to Nintendo when they need it. Like, we were at one time one of the most hated guys in the Nintendo community.
Probably still is. Well, not as much as we was like a year ago. That's
like when there's something bad to talk about their console. Like, I'll talk shit about the Wii U all day if you want me to, because it's a shitty console. It's a shitty design, a shitty idea. The Switch is not. The Switch is a good design console.
For anybody had to have some kind of decent common sense, like, you cannot sit here and tell me you happy with a console that gives you about 4 or 5 games in 2 years. Like, how can you be happy? That's what I'm saying. That's why I just didn't get along with certain Nintendo fans in the community, and I'm gonna keep it right there. I'm not calling no names, but like I'm saying, man, if it's like this, if I'm gonna stick and agree with somebody, or I'm gonna stick and follow somebody, it's because they are telling the truth, they speaking the truth, they being 100% real, 100% unbiased. But that shit that IGN has been giving us, matter of fact, they got a bad reputation for catering towards the Sony fan base. So basically, it kind of give them zero credibility, and this is the main reason why I don't follow these big channels, because they are getting paid under the table by some of these corporations. Sony, wink, wink. But like that's why I follow smaller YouTubers, because they give you all the detail. They be 100% unbiased, and I try to be as unbiased as possible. Alex try to be as unbiased as possible. But that little PlayStation podcast he was talking about the Switch was 100% biased, and I don't recommend that IGN channel to nobody. I know they like one of the biggest gaming channels in this community, but that's one thing that bothers me about a lot of these YouTubers that has over 1 million subscribers. You cannot trust them because they are getting sponsored. And we don't get paid no money. What's that saying you said, Alex? We get paid with some McDonald's money. Hell,
Oh yeah, we get McDonald's money from YouTube.
Yeah,
we do this to like interact with people.
Yeah, we just have fun. So hopefully I get my next YouTube check. Hopefully I can get a Happy Meal this time, man. Maybe.
I'm hoping I can get the Big Mac meal and get a McDouble on the side.
Man.
That's pushing it with my YouTube.
Man,
right now.
if I could get some extra fries with that, man, I'd be happy if I get some extra fries.
Man, you're gonna try and push the limit and get extra large fries. Goddamn. We'd have to dip into the next month.
So that's why I say we don't get paid shit. So why the hell do I want to go out my way and be a corporate slave to a company that don't give us two shits about me? I'm just giving you the facts. I'm just basically just going by what's true. We just just basically using our common sense. We game on all platforms, from Sony, Nintendo, PC. Well, actually, just recently got into PC, Xbox. We game on everything, man. So basically, I got
like for me, PC has replaced my Xbox, because I can play my Xbox games on PC, but it's like the same experience. So for me, it's still like playing Xbox.
I just go to games.
I can still play it on the TV and stuff. But yeah, like we both have the PlayStation, we both have Wii U's. I have a 3DS, but I don't really like the handheld gaming. So like for me, when I get the Switch, it's gonna stay docked.
Yeah.
To me, it's a home console.
So you telling me this, like, okay, whenever the Switch comes out, don't expect all the multiplayer. They might get some, but don't expect all. But this is what I'm going to expect. I'm going to still expect the same first-party games they've been giving us, and plus more. I know Retro's been cooking up some really good. Sakura's cooking up some we don't know about. But y'all gotta remember, Atlas is cooking up some for the Switch as well. Like, there's a lot more 3DS developers coming to the Switch.
It's gonna be a lot of Nintendo stuff coming. There's gonna be more third-party this time around. Especially if the 3DS guys come over to the Switch, because that's like a 50-60 million install base. If they go over to the Switch, that's a big install base to bring over. Yeah. And that'll mean more games coming.
Just think about that.
When it came to Mass Effect Andromeda, EA made it very clear that it's not coming right now.
Oh,
but it will come if it sells well.
We didn't talk about that. The fact that he did not mention about the Wii U situation with the Mass Effect. Like, they keep on saying Nintendo fans don't buy third party, They historically don't buy third party. So historically, okay, let's go back to the original NES. Let's go back to the Super NES. Talking about historically. If they talking about previously or recently, that's fine. But historically, Nintendo was gaming. Basically, Nintendo had all the third-party support. They had all the multiplayer. Even though when the Master System was competing with Nintendo, they still had more games than Sega Master System. When the Super Nintendo came out, actually the Sega Genesis and the Super Nintendo had a massive library. That's like one of the best generations ever. Like, if you want to talk about two juggernaut consoles, they had a lot of exclusives. That was one of the best consoles ever.
That's when gaming companies actually competed against each other for your money. Now they don't do that.
Yes, they don't do that no more. But they had multiplayer. They had the same games. You know, and Nintendo basically had a little bit more games because they was more popular around that time. So don't sit here and tell me the Nintendo fans historically don't buy third-party games. As a matter of fact, when you talking about third parties, are you talking about exclusives or are you talking about the multiplex? Either way it go, multiplex and exclusives sold really well back on the original NES and the Super NES. But if you're talking about the GameCube days, the Wii or the Wii U, that's different. But don't talk about historically.
Again, we can bring up the 3DS, which they ignored entirely throughout their little podcast thing. The 3DS has several third-party games, whether it be exclusive or whatnot, that sell well. It's just like the Wii had the same thing. There's a lot of shovelware on the Wii, but there are third-party games that are not shovelware that sold well on the Wii.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like the Bayonetta 2 sold well on Wii U, Hyrule Warriors sold well. It's just like they're completely off base when they're saying stuff like
okay,
this.
let's go back to Mass Effect Andromeda. They made, with the whole entire they don't buy third-party games. So why did IGN did not pinpoint the fact that when Mass Effect 3 came out for the Wii U, it was already out for the 360 and the PS3, and they get the collection of Mass Effect 1 through 3 with a cheaper price point. So the Nintendo fans that had a Wii did not get the Mass Effect because EA did not make the game for that system. So how the hell can you give the Nintendo fans the third iteration of that game, but you did not give them a collection, but you give the fan base, the 360 and the PS3 fan base, the collection in which they already knew about the game. They played the game. You made them play it again. But why you did not give the Nintendo fan base the collection to get them up speed with the series?
Would have been better off getting the collection as opposed to just Mass Effect 3. That didn't make any sense.
So don't come out and basically say that they don't buy games. Like, there's a reason why they refuse to buy games, because y'all shafted them. You get up in the porch, you refuse them to give them the content that they deserve, and you will come out with some kind of bullshit excuse. So, well, they don't buy it. There's a reason why they didn't buy it, because you gimped it. So come on, IGN. We know about this. Like, come on, y'all supposed to be professional journalists. Like, this is not professional enough. This is 100% being fucking biased. That's basically all I gotta say about that. You got anything else to say about this, Alex?
Yeah, like it was pretty clear. They can say otherwise, whatever they want. That's up to them. But this was very clear that this was just to placate to the Sony fan base. This was to appease them. I get it. It's a Sony podcast. This is the Sony show for IGN, and you need to make sure that whatever you say downplays Nintendo and make sure Sony is what is number one. That's your show.
Yeah.
That's not a problem.
I kind of understand.
But, like, let's not pretend like you're being unbiased here.
Oh, that's very unbiased. Let's just get this straight. Like, Sony's number one. They got it's gonna happen. They go maybe if the PS5 don't come out to like another 5 or 6 years from now, there's a possibility that the PS4 might surpass the PS2. It's a possibility. So they got to do whatever they can to kiss Sony's ass, and that's what's going on right now. They're not being 100% with us.
Like, no, Sony's doing a lot of things really good.
Yeah, right now they are.
Like, they're doing great things, but that doesn't mean you have to downplay what Nintendo can possibly do with the Switch. Like, all they did was like,